Hoodie had to come off. I'm convinced the hardest thing to do in the world physically is dig a hole and just keep digging. You know. Okay, so I dug this hole in February of this year, and it's December right now. And water has gotten into it a little bit, so I've got to do some prep work for when my dad comes out here and we actually build the outhouse. So I'm going to take these off, take the tarp off, and take a look and see if there's any water in it. See how it's looking. I don't even know how deep it is. I dug it with an excavator. I really didn't know what I was doing. And I think I did all right though with it. I think it's 5 feet maybe. I don't know. You can see all the leaves that are on it. Okay, it's not 5 feet, but it's also not wet. Now, that water came from on top of the tarp, so there's really no water down in there, but I gotta get down in there and dig that out some more. I think it needs to be a couple feet deeper. Need to get some measurements too of this hole. Okay, so the outhouse is going to be 4 feet by 4 feet, which is that. So that's good. Gives me plenty of room on either side. Yep, and then it's about 3.5 feet, but there's going to be ventilation, so it's going to come to about right there. And it is 3 feet deep. The land slopes this way, barely. So I'm going to throw everything out this side, which is uphill, and try and create a little barrier so that if water does run down the hill, which it will, it'll kind of go around it. So I'm going to start piling up everything on this side, but I got to leave room for my pressure treated 4x4s, which will serve as the foundation to it. So I got to put it another 6 inches or so on either side. I pretty much at this point just need it to be deeper. Hoodie had to come off. I'm convinced the hardest thing to do in the world physically is dig a hole and just keep digging. You know. Question comes up in my mind, how deep do you dig it? Well, from what I've seen on YouTube, you dig as far as you can dig. Okay, we were right at 3 feet before. Shoot, yeah. Now we're at 4 feet. Okay, so I've now dug another foot, so it is at least 4 feet deep. That's not including 4 inches on all the way around for my ground pressure treated 4x4s, which will serve as the foundation. So I feel like I need to dig a little more. I have built a little dam over here so that any water that does flow downhill will go around it and not inside it. I don't foresee that being an issue because the only water that's ever been in the hole is from rain, and that will all be covered. However, I have noticed that the ground slopes a little bit. So while I do have a barrier up maybe 4 inches or so on this side, when I dig the last few inches, I'm gonna start packing it on this side so that when I put my boards down, they'll be nice and flush. Because I don't think it's very level right now. Let me check. Let's go like this. So it needs to come up about 2 inches on this side. Okay, it's over 4 feet. How do I get out of this? Better question. Oh, like a dough. So this one will go about like this. This one is on top. Oh, that is perfect! Let's go. And pretty much perfect. So I'm pleased with the progress that I've made today. I got the hole down to about 4.5 feet or so deep. It's about as deep as I feel like I could get it. And I have the 2 4x4 posts flush on either side. On this side, where the water runs downhill, I have a little dam that I put around it so that water will flow around it, even though I really don't see that being an issue. But it's now good to go. So when my dad comes out here, I just didn't want him watching me dig a hole for 3 hours and not putting him to work. I want to make the most efficient use of our time as we could. So we're now ready. So the next time I come back out here with him, I'll put down the pressure treated flooring, and then it's just 4 sheets, some framing, and then 4 sheets of siding, and then the roof is clear plastic. It should take no time. So hopefully it'll take a day, we'll see, but now everything is kind of, the grunt work is done, so that will be good to go. Thanks for watching today's episode. If you're curious about the Dookie Den, the outhouse build, and then here soon the cabin build, please like and subscribe, and remember, God's creation is meant to be explored.